Okay, so I have the option of doing one or two things. I can make this a video now and post it, or I can make this a reminder video and post it tomorrow. The time is 12:20. Well, it's 12:18. So I'm gonna flip this here coin. Kids, I'm gonna tell the story. Tails, I'm not. Okay. And on heads, which means I have one more video I'm gonna have to post now. So this is a bonus video, part of bonus video 2. I've been debating since I told you guys this tonight about the two natives that are hounding me about being a pretendian or whatever. Let me get some light on the subject. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and tell the story. Because I've had two bad Native American experiences, which will prove that no one is above racism. As a mixed person, I don't have to be reminded that I'm mixed. I know it. I live it every day. I've been mixed for 50 fucking years. I'm not in the business of proving myself to people, but apparently sometimes you have to when you are a mixed person, because some people don't have the testicular fortitude to just leave you the fuck alone. Alright? Now, no, nothing's happened since I made the videos, but I just wanted to get this shit off my chest, if that makes sense. Alright? And hopefully, it makes some sense. Alright? So, we're going to take you back to my 20s. And yeah, I didn't handle the situation well. I will outwardly admit that if anybody's at fault, it's definitely me. You know, because I should have handled this situation a little bit better than I did. But I didn't. So I tell you, I had two bad Native experiences. They all happened in the same day. And here's the story. Like to hear it, here it go. Wheelchair basketball team a few years ago. A lot of years ago. And I liked this really pretty young Native girl. But her uncles didn't like me. Alright? Are y'all following me so far? I hope you're following me so far. So, 20-something-year-old kid, not very wise for the most part, but a smart ass, if you would. A really, really smart ass. So, I'm trying to talk to the girl. The youngest brother of the three rolls up on me in this wheelchair. And he shoos her away. It's like, yo. And you know, I didn't understand what the fuck was happening because I wasn't raised on a reservation. I know that I'm part Native. That's where the knowledge ends. Right there. So, this asshole decides to have a conversation with me. It's not a very polite conversation, if I may ask. And the first thing he goes is, "You're not a pure Native." Oh, no. Gotta hope that still didn't stop anything. Alright, the light's still on. Okay, still recording. Sorry. I tried to clean off the bottom of the thing, and it just, like, disappeared. Anyway, so he looks at me and says, "You're not a pure Native. We don't want you involved with my niece. We don't need you messing up our bloodline and our family. You're not a pure Native." And so then I asked him, because I'm a strong believer in giving you a fair chance. Alright? If we're going to go fisticuffs, I'm going to give you a fair chance. I'm going to give you a fair chance, and you're either going to take it or you're not. And so I asked him, said, "Are you, like, able-bodied, or are you totally paralyzed from the legs down, or what have you?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm a paraplegic," which means he can't move from the waist down. And I said, "Okay. So now let me tell you what's about to happen. There's no honor in me kicking your ass because you can't stand up and fight back. But you see that oak tree down there? You're gonna know what that tastes like because I'm going to roll your ass down that hill. I know I'm mixed. You don't have to rub that shit in my face. I hear it all the fucking time. You think you're saying something that I haven't heard before? I just never heard it from natives. I've always heard it from black people and from white people. But now I got a native who you'd think would be looking out for a fellow native, but nah, I'm not a pure native, and you're letting me know that to my face. Well, I can beat your ass, but you can't fight back because you can't stand up. And that wouldn't be fair. But I can roll you into that motherfucking oak tree and feel pretty fucking good about it, knowing that there's nothing you can do to stop it. So then, he rolled off. The middle kid, the one I like to call Jan Brady, he rolled up. He saw that I had a conversation with his brother. And I had been walking somewhere where he kind of met me, where we were close enough to the sidewalk at the Jefferson School, which is now like the Black Community Center or some shit here in Charlottesville. And so this motherfucker went through the same song and dance. And he goes, "You're not a pure native. We don't want you having any relationships with our niece because you're not pure blood. You're a mixed native. You're not, you're not good enough." I get the concept, but the approach was fucked up from both men. And my approach was no fucking better. If anything, I was probably the worst out of the three of us. And so I looked at him and I said, "Let me get this right. Tiny over there," because the brother was the youngest, he was smaller. "Tiny over there didn't want me messing with your niece. And you basically come to give me another rundown. Well, let me ask you this. Are you an able-bodied player? Or are you actually paralyzed from the waist down?" And he's like, "I am also a paraplegic." I said, "So let me get this right. Neither one of y'all motherfuckers can stand up, but y'all can run your goddamn mouth." The words were a little bit more different than that. But anyway, the story's still the same. He's like, "Yeah, we're both paralyzed from the waist down. Her daddy is the only one that's able-bodied, and he doesn't play. Or if he does play, he's not here that day." I said, "So basically, y'all don't want me anywhere near your niece because y'all think that she's going to like me and I'm going to be marrying into your family, but y'all don't want no non-pure-blooded natives in the family," is what you're saying. And then I looked at him and said, "Well, as I told your brother, since you can't stand up and defend yourself, how would you like to run into oncoming traffic? Because the light's blinking in my eye in case you guys are wondering why my eye pupils, irises, or whatever the fuck call you keep turning red. I am not a fucking reptilian." Anyway, so I threatened to roll him into oncoming traffic. Without question. I was like, "Well, how would you feel if I roll your ass down the street into oncoming traffic?" And he wasn't too happy. So he rolled the fuck off too. Later, I would talk to another native who's a Mohawk that I've known for quite some time. And his name is Court. We're going to leave it at that because I never knew his last name. His first name is Courtney. That's all I ever know. He's a good man. We rode to Canada plenty of times in his bus. We put the wheelchairs in. He also played wheelchair basketball. So I talked to Court and I was like, "Yo, man," because he said something, and I somehow we got to talking. I was like, "Yo, those two native dudes over there, they don't want me talking to their niece, but they was kind of being a little racist about it." He's like, "Okay, I'll have a chat with him." But so that everybody was at peace, I wasn't allowed to sit next to the native girl. I had to sit all the way in the back. So, like I said, I had never had a bad Native American experience before that. I haven't had one since, but I never had one before that, like in person. Now, counting that earlier I made a video about the natives coming at me on TikTok. Only two of them, again, males, that are questioning my indigeneity, while other natives that I've had like not one fucking problem with a native woman or certain other native men. Yeah, it's like, okay, guys, mixed native. We're not gonna question this indigeneity and all that other shit. But these goddamn pretendians are fucking it up for people like me who are mixed, who want to reconnect, but we can't because they're fucking it up. They may be part native, which is what they're fucking up. If you're part native, do it the right way. Connect like everybody else. Do not erase your black history. Embrace that and your native history, and you're gonna be fine. But these motherfuckers, they done fucked it up so bad that everybody who's black that's reconnecting are now going to have problems reconnecting because TikTok's not a small thing. It is kind of a monolith, and natives aren't a monolith, but there's a lot of tribes that aren't federally recognized but just still exist. And so I give you this story because they were the only two bad Native American experiences I had before the TikTok app. TikTok, TikTok, tick some goddamn body. And I was sitting there and I was like, um, it's kind of a fucked up ass thing. Now, like I said, growing up, I was raised in a black neighborhood. I was raised in basically the streets. We lived in the projects. I was forced to fight as a kid from the age of 6 to the age of 12. I learned martial arts from 7, and it never stopped. I just kept going and practicing. And later in life, I would become a member of the Army National Guard. Now, all the training I had kind of makes me a little bit dangerous, or it would make me pretty lethal. And no, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I do send warnings, not invitations, because I don't have to not kill you, and I don't have to beat you to kill you, which is a lot of what people mistake about fights. You can kill someone by accident in a fight. You don't have to know what you're doing to accidentally kill someone. Shit happens, man. So you gotta be real careful. And me being a martial artist and making videos like this would put people at an obvious advantage. You'd have to catch me with a sucker punch, or you have to catch me sleeping, or you'd have to put somebody else's life at risk for me to not be ready to hurt you on any given possible second, because that's what the fuck I was trained to do. But for racism, you know, I have been mixed for 50 fucking years. I don't give a fuck what social media we're on. What gives you the right to challenge my mixedness, for one? What gives you the right to come at me and be like, yo, you ain't this, this, and this? Like, motherfucker, were you there when my grandparents was fucking? Were you there when my mother was born or my father was born? Were you there when their parents were fucking? Because I'm generationally mixed. Now, granted, I may not have enough native blood to claim it, for like the money and all the land and shit that all these fucking pretendians are after. I ain't after none of that, though. I'm not after none of that shit. But these fuckers don't get that shit. Here's why I want to reconnect. Besides the fact that the mixed native insisted that I did. Because I wasn't even going to do none of that shit. I was just, people ask me, yes, I'm part native. Leave it at that, because that's what I've always done. And motherfuckers be asking me, what you mix with? Oh, simple. I'm part native, I'm part black, I'm part white. I've never tried to cash in on it. I'm never going to be able to cash in on it unless my acting career takes off. And even then, I still might not be able to cash in on it. I might not be native enough, So it's going to be what it's going to be. But I've literally never gone to a reservation and say, hey, look, I'm this guy and I want this from y'all. No, fuck that shit. The only thing I need from any Native American tribe is acceptance and acknowledgement that I am part Native and that I exist. I don't give a flying fuck about anything else. Now, I will say, when I first talk to certain people and it's like, well, natives get like free college and shit. It's like, yeah, but I think you got to be a certain amount of native. And it's like, there's some loopholes between that, which is true. You literally have to be a native from the reservation. You can't just be mixed native. You have to be a native from the reservation to get free college. Where if you're half native, like if you're 50%, you can get some stuff. But if you're like full native, like your mom's full native, your daddy's full native, you've been on the reservation, your entire family's on the reservation, there's some things with that, and I think it really only focuses on federally recognized tribes. I can be wrong, so take all that shit with a grain of salt. I'm pretty sure I'm probably wrong on some of that. But the fact of the matter is that I could never qualify for any Native American grants or any of that shit because I'm not full-blooded Native. I'm mixed Native. And I'm pretty sure they know that. So it's not going to be like something I could just pull a rabbit out of my hat and say, hey, I'm part Native American. Let me go to college. It's too late. I'm 50 fucking years old now. So I don't really want to go back to college unless I can just get paid to go back and look at the chicks. Anyway, that was a slip of the brain. I was thinking with the wrong head. I would really only want to go back to college if I'm getting paid to either teach something, or if I'm getting paid to look at girls, or if I'm getting paid to train them in like martial arts or some shit like that. Other than that, I'm done. I graduated. I achieved my goal. I graduated at 49 years old back in May of this year. I am not trying to go back to school unless I absolutely have to, which we're praying that never has to happen. I'm 50 fucking years old. I'm not trying to go back to school any fucking how. As a kid growing up, and I tell you guys this 1,000 times before, black kids were the worst to me. All right, white kids were bad, but black kids were the worst. Hey half breed, hey zebra, hey half honky. Yes, I said the original word, honky. George Jefferson. Honky and zebra was George Jefferson. The N word was Archie Bunkers. You know, and it was used in other black sitcoms too. But it's just really bad to be racist. But when you're mixed, you're always going to be the victim of racism, depending on who you encounter. So, lots of black kids didn't want nothing to do with me because I was mixed. Because somehow or another, my mom came to school. My mom was white presenting. She's not passing as a white person. She's presenting, so she looks white. All my white friends made fun of me because my mom was white. All my black friends made fun of me because my mom was white. They never saw my dad because my dad lived in another city. He did not live in Charlottesville. He lived in Smithfield. And eventually he would move to Richmond. But by then, I'm out of high school. So none of the kids that I ever made friends with, I don't think any of my friends have ever actually seen my dad. But my dad was mixed. His dad was black. His mom was native. My dad looked black. He was black presenting. Y'all have seen me do things about him on his birthday and his death day. His birthday, April 30th. His death day is March 24th. Maybe it's the 23rd. No, I believe it's 24th. It doesn't really matter because he has passed away. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the 24th. So, I've gone through a lot of racist shit. Again, I've had the worst racism from black people. And I've never had to do anything but prove that I'm black to black people. Native Americans, there were never enough Native Americans here in Charlottesville for it to be a concern. The only time my culture ever came up with Native American shit was when a white person asked me, a black person asked me, or a Native person asked me if I was part Native. These things didn't happen like randomly, alright? Maybe one or two black people might have asked, but everybody who knew me from school, wouldn't stop calling me Juan, Carlos, or Tonto because they thought I was Mexican, alright? And then, like, strangers, like at Burger King, one white kid, hey man, you part Native? Or are you Native American? I was like, I'm mixed Native. I'm not all Native. I've never, not one time in my real life, has said that I'm a full-blooded Native. I know I'm not. So I don't do that. I don't deny that shit, but I don't X out all my other heritage. I know I'm never going to be white. Yeah, I'm high yellow. Y'all can see that this part of my arm is dark and this part is light. But I'm never going to be white. I know that. As long as I'm breathing, I'm never going to be white. And there's nothing wrong with that. White people are cool. Yeah, nothing wrong with white people. It's just the racist white people that you have to deal with. And not all white people are racist. Just like not all black people aren't racist. There are plenty of racist black people. But people are going to chalk that up to colorism. Let me explain something to you. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I don't give a what your fucking dictionary says. If you hate a person because of the color of their skin, you're a fucking racist. And you can be a black person hating a white person or an Asian person, you're a fucking racist. You can be a white person hating a black person or an Asian person, you're fucking racist. You can be an Asian person hating a black person or a white person, you're fucking racist. You can be a native person hating a black person, a white person, or an Asian person, and you're a fucking racist. If you hate them for the fucking race that they are, you are a racist. And don't give me that bullshit that you hear on TikTok about black people can't be racist. It's bullshit. Everybody can fucking be racist. Period. There was a white dude. And I tell you guys this before, I'll tell it again. And I was working at Kevlar's for 3 years. This motherfucker wouldn't stop calling me chief. I'm not a chief. I'm never going to be a chief. No one on earth will ever elect me to be chief of their tribe because I'm not full-blooded. There's probably not enough Native American blood in me to even claim that shit. So unless I, literally come from a descendant of chiefs, it ain't going to happen. So, since I'm pretty sure that my grandmother and her mother are not chiefs because there's very few female chiefs, I don't ever have to worry about being considered a fucking chief. So, I'm never going to be considered a chief. I'm never going to be called chief. I'm never going to be Chief Echo Fang Grey Wolf. It's not going to fucking happen. I'm just going to be Echo Fang Grey Wolf. And like I said, the only reason why I'm reconnecting was for two reasons. One, the black guy that was part native insisted, and two, the acknowledgement. I don't want the money. I don't want anything from the tribe. I really don't even want to be enrolled. If they decide to offer me the enrollment, as I said before, I will do that in the condition that I keep my native name as Echo Fang Grey Wolf versus giving them my government name. And I was like, no, I'm keeping my government name. But my native name has to be Echo Fang Grey Wolf, or you can't enroll me. And they were like, why? I'm going to say, because I want a native name, and this is what I want it to be. Because both my grandfathers, one is black and one is mixed. My government name is James William Shooter. I had to keep it because I was a veteran of the United States Army National Guard. Native name can be just like when Chinese or Asian people come over here and they got a name they can't pronounce, so the government gives them a new name or something in the proximity, but they still have their Asian name. So I'll have my native name and I have my government name, and that's just the way it's going to be. But again, if I'm offered enrollmentship, I will take enrollmentship. But I'm not sitting here trying to do that. I just want to reconnect so that I can be acknowledged. Yes, you are part native. That's it. That's all I fucking need. I don't need anything else. Even if I ain't got like 3%. It's like, yeah, you got 5% native, 3% native, 0.1%. Still in point, still percent. And I still look native in the face. So, outside of that, all I want is the acknowledgement that I'm part native. I don't want their money. I don't want their land. I want to just be acknowledged. I don't want to be enrolled. But, like I said, if it's offered to me, I'm damn sure going to take it in the condition that my native name is Echo Fang Grey Wolf and that they make that shit legal. Other than that, just give me the acknowledgement and my name's still going to be Echo Fang Grey Wolf, even if they don't fucking acknowledge it. But I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a problem. But like I said, I'm not out to get money from the natives. I'm not out to get anything from them other than the acknowledgement that my grandmother and her mother are part of them. Whether it be Cherokee or Chickahominy, it's all I want is acknowledgement. It's like, yeah, we got you. We acknowledge you. You are maybe a third, if that, you know, but we will acknowledge you. And you can keep the name Echo Fang Grey Wolf. Other than that, that's great. If they give me enrollment, it's like, hey, we want to enroll you into our thing. And I say, well, I would love to do that, but I want to give myself a native name because we never got the chance to get native names, and I want the native name of Echo Fang Grey Wolf. So I don't give a fuck how you spell Echo. I prefer to spell it E-C-K-O, but I'll take E-C-H-O. Fang, F-A-N-G, and Grey Wolf, G-R-E-Y-W-O-L-F. Outside of that, I really just want to be acknowledged and accepted. That's it. I don't need to be enrolled, just accept it. I want permission to come to powwows. I want permission to come and get to know the culture that I was missed out on because being raised black, living in Charlottesville versus living in the Powhite community versus living in anywhere near the Chickahominy or anything that we could possibly be. I want that right to be able to come do that. Whether they enroll me or not, it's going to be up to them. And if they say I qualify for enrollment, hell yeah, you know, if they're going to offer it, I'm going to take it. But if they're not going to offer it, it's like, look, you don't have enough blood that we can count you on the thing. Cool. But I want the fuck is it? A descendancy paper or lineage paper. So that's it. I can get one of them, go laminate the bitch, I'm good. Then I can flash that around to everybody. Be like, look, I went to the Chickahominy tribe. They have acknowledged that my great-grandmother is one of them. Good to go. Because then I'll still have that lineage paper, which would know that I wasn't bullshitting and that I'm not a fucking pretendian. Anyway, that being said, everybody can be racist. I just want to tell you about the two bad Native American experiences. And like I said, I've had some very bad white experiences. I've had some very good Native experiences. I've had very good white experiences and good black experience. But my thing that I should have caught, and I'm kicking myself in the ass now, and this will be the last part of this video. Uh, Evan Almighty was filmed here, and I was the last person in line before the cutoff. So the guy in front of me was the actual guy that they were gonna cut off. All right. I was with my bro Bruce Johnson and his wife, who's Spanish. She's Spanish from Spain. So we're there. This young native lady, she's walking. Doot, 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 doot. You're done. The rest of y'all can go home. And she looked at me and she goes, "Are you native?" And I was like, "I am part native." It's like, "You need to get your ass to North Carolina or South Carolina because they're filming Conquest 1492. And again, as I told y'all before, I didn't have a car. And then I said, "Well, ma'am, if you give me a ride there, I will gladly go." And she's like, "I'm not giving you a ride. I don't know you." I was like, "I know you don't know me, but I don't have a car, and I can't get there without a car because I wouldn't know where to go." It's like, "Yeah, well, they're talking about it and whatever, and if you do this, this, and this." I said, "But I'm not all the way native." She's like, "You'll pass enough. You need to get there," and that was an opportunity that I didn't take, and I never ever considered using my Native American heritage to get me through the door. Now, at 50 years old, I have decided when I was 49, with the name change from James Williams Jr. to Echo Fang Grey Wolf, I'm going to start using my Native heritage. Thank you to the 309 of you who have watched 30 minutes of this extra video. Be seeing you.